Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are talking about something huge. We're going to break down the science, the business, and the incredible future of these new weight loss drugs that are, well, they're changing everything. You know the question. You've heard it, I've heard it, it's everywhere, right? From celebrity gossip to your own family dinner table. And what it really signals is this massive shift, both medically and culturally, that is happening as we speak. I mean, just to give you a sense of how huge this is, get this. Novo Nordisk, the maker of Ozempic and Wegovy, their value got so high that their market cap was bigger than the entire GDP of their home country, Denmark. A single company worth more than its entire country. That's wow.
And it's not a one-horse race. Not at all. Their biggest competitor, Eli Lilly, saw its market value triple. Just like that. It made them the single largest pharmaceutical company in the world, the biggest on the planet.
So, okay, how did this happen? How did a diabetes drug suddenly become this global obsession? Well, you've got a perfect storm of celebrity hype and just incredible demand. And boom, you've got a market that's already blown past the $100 billion mark. But you know, to really get why this is such a revolution, we need to take a step back. We need to look at the pretty grim landscape of weight loss treatments that existed before all this. For decades, the options were, frankly, awful. You had these dangerous drugs like fen-phen. Remember that? They got yanked from the market because they were literally damaging people's hearts. Or you could go for risky, invasive surgery. And if you didn't want to do that, well, the advice was basically, just try harder, eat less, move more. It treated this incredibly complex medical issue like it was just a lack of willpower. So where did the breakthrough come from? The thing that changed everything? Well, it wasn't from some fancy, futuristic lab. Nope. It came from a lizard. Specifically, the venom of a lizard, and a little bit of scientific genius. Okay, so here's the science bit, and it's actually pretty cool. Back in the 80s, scientists found this hormone called GLP-1. Basically, it's the little messenger in your gut that tells your brain, hey, we're good, stop thinking about food now. The only problem? Our bodies break it down super fast, like in a matter of minutes. So it was too fragile to work as a medicine. Fast forward to the 90s, a biochemist, John Eng, has this totally out there idea. He actually mail orders venom from a Gila monster. Why? Because these lizards barely eat, like a few times a year. He figured there had to be something special going on. And he was right. He found a version of GLP-1 in the venom that was, like he said, wearing a bulletproof vest. It didn't break down. It lasted for hours. And that discovery, that led to the very first drug in this class, Byetta, back in 2005. So Novo Nordisk sees this and thinks, we can make this even better. They created a synthetic version for humans, one you only had to take once a week. And the effect, I mean, this is the part that's so profound. People started saying that the constant food noise in their head, that nonstop chatter about what to eat next, it just stopped. It went quiet. All right, so the science works. The demand is off the charts. What happens next? A full-blown corporate battle royale between two absolute giants, Novo Nordisk and Eli Lilly. And this rivalry is what pushed the technology to the next level. So Novo Nordisk comes out with Wegovy, and it's a huge hit, a total blockbuster. But Eli Lilly wasn't just sitting back. They came back with Zepbound, and it was like they added a second engine to the car. It didn't just hit that GLP-1 hormone, it also targeted another one called GIP. This 1-2 punch was a game changer. The results were even more dramatic, with people losing on average more than 20% of their body weight. But listen, the race is far from over, not even close. Because here's the thing, a lot of people, we're talking about a third of the population, really don't like needles. So the next frontier, the holy grail of this whole thing, it's the pill. And of course, both companies are in a dead sprint to get that pill to market. Novo actually has one out, but it's a bit high maintenance. You have to take it on an empty stomach, then wait 30 minutes before you eat or drink anything. Eli Lilly's version, though, seems a lot easier. You can take it with food, and it doesn't need to be refrigerated. Now, that might sound like a small detail, but when you're talking about millions of users, that convenience could be the thing that decides who wins this next round. When you see success this big, you know competitors are going to jump in. And they are. But what's interesting is they're not just trying to make copycat drugs. They're trying to build a better mousetrap. Some are working on drugs that help you keep muscle mass while you lose weight. Others are focused on reducing side effects, like nausea.
It's a full-on innovation race.
Okay, so let's zoom out. What does this all add up to? What's the big picture here? Because this is about more than just stock prices and corporate rivalries. This could be a genuine revolution in public health. Right now, it's basically a two-company show. Novo Nordisk and Eli Lilly have this market locked down. They're protected by what people in the industry call a patent jungle, just hundreds of patents that make it almost impossible for anyone else to get in. That, plus the billions it costs to even build the factories, means they can keep the prices, well, really, really high.
But here's the thing about that iron grip. It has an expiration date. The clock is officially ticking. Starting around 2031, key patents for Nova start to expire. Eli Lilly's follow a few years later. This is what's known as the patent cliff, and it's the moment when everything could change.
Because once those patents are gone, the floodgates open. Generic drug companies can jump in. And what does that mean? A price war. Experts believe the costs are going to plummet, making these drugs as common and affordable as something like antibiotics. Suddenly, they're not just for the wealthy, they're for everyone. And that is the real revolution here. It's about moving from a world where there's this ugly divide between the slender wealthy and the obese poor. It's about getting to a place where we finally treat obesity for what the science says it is, a treatable biological condition, not a failure of character.
So it leaves you with this one massive question. A century ago, penicillin came along and basically ended the tear of deadly bacterial infections. Are we right now witnessing the same thing for obesity? Could this be the generation that actually makes it history?
喜欢这种学习方式，欢迎订阅我的频道，让我们一起用下一个10分钟，把商业英文变简单。